Max finally goes off to college to win the X Games and be free of Goofy, but Goofy immediately comes to join him as a classmate.
Welcome to the Walt Vault with Andre,
Michelle,
Emily,
And Luis.
We are a family-friendly podcast where each and every week we watch and review a different Disney movie. Be sure to subscribe on all podcast platforms and YouTube. Enjoy the show. Hello and welcome to the Walt Vault episode.
crack in the vault, crack in the vault.
wrong
She just put her mic down after that, like she didn't just interrupt me.
That was incorrect.
Episode 118.
Oh my gosh, we're really doing it now.
Yeah, 118.
You're talking and not into
Yeah,
your
you're talking
microphone,
into your
just so you
biscuit,
know.
not into your microphone. Goodness gracious.
I like biscuits.
We're
Oh,
literally
brother.
sitting in my house getting ready to record, and Michelle comes out from the other room and she goes, mid-sentence, talking about something else. Can I have a biscuit?
Guys, I love biscuits.
We had leftover biscuits, and Louis said, those are for my girls. And he said, Michelle's like, there's 3? And what did you say, Lou?
He said I have 3 girls.
I have 3 girls.
Yeah, well,
Which
I
is
said-
true. And she still ate one of my girls' biscuits.
uh-huh. You better make another biscuit, because
I'm not sure that was okay.
you got 4 girls. She was coming in here and eating whatever she was.
Emily didn't make those this morning.
Always snacking.
One of my girls who may not have a biscuit tomorrow is the one who made them along with me.
Right.
I also came into the house. Emily was at work and Luis was here. And all I did was bring a can of soup, but like not a bowl, not a spoon, just a can, unopened can of soup. And I said, "Can I borrow a bowl?" And he was like, "Yeah."
That's cool. We have 6 bowls. 4 people live here. Plenty.
Mhm.
3
But
biscuits.
you won't share
Only-
your biscuit.
They only
biscuits,
have
3
3
girls.
biscuits.
3 biscuits, 3 girls.
Where
not
did the other
plenty.
ones go? Luis, did you eat them all?
Now I
Emily
have-
only got a bite of an
Now I
apple
have
donut.
2 biscuits for 3 girls.
Oh, I only got one.
You see how the
bite of
math is
apple
flawed?
donut.
This week, we are talking about the 2000 straight-to-DVD animated feature film, An Extremely Goofy Movie.
Have we done a straight-to-video movie?
That's a good question. I don't believe
almost
that
feel
we
like we
have.
haven't.
Was it straight to VHS, though, at that time?
In 2000?
It's 2000, so it came out on
DVD.
DVD and VHS, I believe.
I mean, we say that, but that was
I
20
had
years
it on
ago.
VHS.
Hmm.
Oh, excuse you.
These early 2000s, it would be both.
Oh.
Now on VHS and DVD, you know?
VHS
I just
and
remember it being
DVD.
like, oh, this DVD and Blu-ray stuff. What?
Right.
This is never gonna
You
be
guys, I
important.
really
That was
think that we
much
haven't
later.
done a straight... Well, wasn't Muppets straight to...
No.
That was in the movie?
Excuse you.
No, the one that we did for your Treasure Island, Muppets Treasure Island.
Yeah, that came out
Excuse
It was in the
in the
theater?
theaters too. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
The only
Hmm.
ones that we could say that we've done that are straight to DVD are the Disney Plus movies that we've done. Toko and
Because that's straight
That's
to
different,
streaming.
right.
These are like
straight to
straight to DVD movie. You knew it was going to be like different kind of animation.
Yeah, like a different
Like-
caliber.
Right. This is one of our first animated sequels that we've
Mhm.
done. That's not a Pixar.
True, we did do all those Toy Stories.
Yeah, so this came out 5 years after the 1995 Goofy movie, and it's straight to DVD. It has almost all of the same cast as the first movie, which is nice, and it puts Max in college.
Yes. So I want to give my first impression first because when we did Goofy Movie episode whatever ago, a long time ago, I thought this is what we were watching. Because this is the one I grew up watching. Not Goofy Movie, an extremely Goofy movie. Like I knew about Powerline and maybe I had seen it like once or
Yeah.
twice. But this is the one that I grew up watching. You make me feel like dancing. I'm gonna dance the night away. Yeah, I could quote this movie. Like, so it held up. It was still really good. I liked it. I did make the comment that it was almost like Monsters University.
Yeah,
For sure. I mean, most college movies, they kind of go that route. You know what I mean?
I thought the same thing.
It was really good. Luis, first impression of an extremely goofy movie.
It was okay. It was fun. Yeah. Cool.
Yep, fun, cool.
Fun, cool. All right, Andre.
Yeah, just a reminder, we did the original Goofy movie on episode 17 of
What?
the podcast.
17?
Yes, 2
No.
years ago.
Literally 100 episodes ago.
Back in the day,
Wait,
yeah.
17, and we're on 117?
We're on 118. This is
Oh
101
my
episodes ago.
gosh. It was that long ago?
Yeah, man. We've done a lot of these.
It doesn't feel like it was that long ago.
Yeah.
I was going to say like 80 something.
Mm-mm.
Maybe 60.
Mm-mm. Anywho, yeah.
My voice got. Oh my god. Oh man.
Yeah. First impression.
Whose chord is
I like this movie a lot. It was quite fun. You know, when you go in to watch a straight to DVD sequel of a Disney movie, you kind of got to set your expectations real low.
Yeah.
But this one, I think, it performed almost just as well as the first one did. Now, I obviously love the songs in the first one a lot more than
For sure.
than this, but this has a fire soundtrack.
But it doesn't have
lot of bops.
only open road, which
Oh,
is very nice.
That's fine.
I give it a
I'm
No,
okay.
no, no, no.
None of that.
Chester's Possum Park.
I would be so mad
Goodness
if we went
gracious.
there. So.
Yeah, there's actually no musical singing songs in this movie. It's all
just 70s
soundtrack
background music.
based. But yeah, I like this movie a fair amount. It's cute. It's fun. It's funny. It's goofy.
Emily.
It's funny that we're doing this right now because even though school would have gone back to school, right? Like,
Yeah.
I say it like they're not back to school right now, but because of quarantine, it
Some
feels
are.
like nobody's back in
Right.
school, even though
Not
people
in
are.
California though. Yeah.
Right? But it was funny because last night, little background for people. I think people know that me and Michelle are sorority sisters and that she's my little in the sorority, which is really
Wow.
funny.
Yeah, we haven't talked about that in a while.
But it's funny because that you brought up Monsters Inc. because I totally was getting the same vibes too. Which that one's a little bit more about the fraternity side of it.
Right.
But last night was the start of our state college's what do you call
Recruitment.
it? Sorority recruitment.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I talked at the P&M, the
Did you?
potential new member.
I thought
yeah.
about it and I was like, nah.
And I talked.
I can't do it.
Yeah, I talked at their Zoom meeting or whatever, and it was just so funny because they were sitting there and they were so excited but so nervous and everything. And then we literally watched the movie right after, and I was like,
You're
oh
like,
my
college
God,
vibes.
this is so weird. Like freshmen, and
College
they don't know what they're
days.
doing.
Yeah.
So it was really funny to watch Max in this movie. He comes in and he's like, I don't care about no fraternity live. I don't care about
Right.
no seniors. So it was a totally different vibe than I was expecting watching it this time, and I it was cute. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
Still like the first one better, but this one was cute.
But it's pretty, like, for straight to DVD,
Not bad.
not bad.
Not
Not bad
bad
at
at all.
Like,
not, not too shabby.
I don't think it's too shabby.
I
Yeah.
think this is one of those movies that I watched as a kid. I was 9 years old when this came out. That like formed my idea of like what college would be like
For
in
sure.
the future or whatever. And then you
Definitely.
actually get to college and you realize that not
It's
all the
nothing
classes
like
are all
this.
in pews and
Yeah, we were like,
Thank
are they
God.
throwing spitballs in college? Like, who does that? Like, okay.
get control of this classroom, sir. But yeah, this movie is quite fun. Me like it. Do I have any? It was directed by Mr. Douglas McCarthy. It stars Bill Farmer as Goofy and Jason Marsden as Max and Rob Paulson and Pauly Shore, all the homies from a Goofy movie.
And who was the one that I was like, what's that voice? What's his name? The evil guy in the fraternity.
Oh, Bradley Uppercrust the Third.
Yeah, who's his
Upper
voice again?
crust, I cannot.
Because it sounded so familiar, and I was like,
yeah.
I was like, babe, what is that?
He was voiced by Mr. Jeff Bennett, who is a voice actor. You might know him from basically any animated movie in the past 15, 25 years or whatever.
like in everything.
He's in everything. He's in The Little Mermaid.
Who is he in The Little Mermaid?
Cosgrove Thackeray. You remember who that is?
Nope.
I don't either.
Thackeray Binks.
Oh, he's the singing voice of Zazu in The Lion King. That's
Oh,
interesting.
snap.
He was in...
Didn't you say he was the penguin from Madagascar?
Yes, he's one of the main penguins from Madagascar.
The one who's like telling him what to do,
Yes.
like super.
Come on, boys. That guy.
Come on, boys. Yeah, he just had like one of those voices where I was like, I feel like I know you.
Yes, a
From
very
something.
very recognizable voice, and basically from everything. Like everything I'm reading on his IMDb here is recognizable. He didn't necessarily play a recognizable part in it, but he's in.
But you know the
everything.
voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the homie's in.
Well, I agree. I totally thought like I know this guy. I know this guy.
Right.
But before we go any farther, I do want to say this was a listener vote, and we were
Yes.
super
Yes.
excited to have you guys vote on this movie.
That's right. In a last-minute knockout, beating the return of Jafar.
I'm not gonna lie.
An extremely goofy movie takes the win.
I'll not say this every time the listeners vote, but I was upset. Okay, literally, guys, go back to voting once. I'm never happy about it because I wanted to watch Return of Jafar,
I did too.
and like
Yeah.
day one, it was winning, and I was like, yes, yes.
I was like, here we
yes.
go.
And then I was like, no.
I think it's because I threw out there like, "Hey, Andre, Return of Jafar's winning,"
I
and then it was
that's
like,
right. And
That's
then
what we wanted, you guys. It wasn't bad. No, I'm just kidding. I'm still probably gonna watch Return of
And
Jafar.
then Goofy came in and blew them all out of the
I
water.
ain't mad, you guys. That's me being dramatic. I will watch an extremely goofy movie any day. It was good.
Thank you guys for coming in and voting.
Yeah, thanks for voting. We like votes.
We
I just
like
want to give you
votes.
guys a couple shout outs since, our winners, you voted.
Did anybody vote for the rescuers?
No.
No, 0
They were like,
votes.
y'all just did one.
rescuers
They were
down
like,
under.
Yeah, no, they were not ready to go down under, and
Yeah.
I'm not mad about it.
I
But
mean,
Yeah.
I keep hearing that's like the better one or the more liked one, but yeah, no, not from y'all.
wow.
Left it alone.
At Carrick Lionheart, at Siniyad.Nisiran. Girl, I do
What?
not know how to say your
What
name. I
is
don't know.
that?
I feel like it's a girl. Tell us, how do you say your name?
Okay.
At Curly Mexican,
Mhm.
at BVolk91, sub BVolk, at
So-
I don't know what to put here, at Big Jose 02, at Lizzie 515. Thank you guys for voting.
What's up, y'all? Shout outs.
I tried to do some recon on your names, but it made it real hard.
What's the one that you tried to pronounce just now?
Okay, it's at SINEAD dot whatever the rest of that is that I wrote.
Sinead Neron.
Better than I did. Girl, how you say your name?
What's up, Sinead?
oh my goodness.
Shout out to all of you. Thank
Well,
you guys for voting.
this curly Mexican one, Yesenia, that's my coworker.
Hi, Yesenia.
Hi, Curly.
And Brittany Volk.
Hey, Brittany.
And I don't know what to put here, literally.
I don't know. Thank you guys for voting. We really appreciate it. And we'll let you know when
Yeah, we'll
there's
probably
another
do
one.
another one in the future.
Yeah. At some
Who
point.
knows? Michelle's not going to let you.
Nope, it's all about me on this podcast. Okay.
Yeah, we know Miss Biscuit coming over here taking all the biscuit.
I'm gonna send you a picture of Addie's pouty face. But there's no biscuit for her.
She won't. You're gonna tell her Auntie Shell needed a
Auntie
biscuit.
Shell
And
ate my
she's gonna go.
biscuit.
She's gonna go. Oh, it's okay, Auntie Shell.
Nah, she's gonna scratch your
Obviously, you
name off
don't
that
know
little
our
piece of
child.
paper.
And then you're gonna tell her Dougie ate it. She goes, "It's okay, Dougie."
Nah, I
That's
see.
called manipulation at its finest,
Yeah,
Auntie Shell.
I see
Yeah.
vengeance in our future. You just Batman the little Addie. She's gonna be like, I'm taking my
It
vengeance.
says the man who looks like a villain now.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have follow Andre on his personal
On the
account,
socials.
but Andre,
Michael Matande was worried about him. He was like, "Take care of him."
dude, everyone's worried about Andre. He slipped and fell today.
I may have hurt
Not
myself
today.
well, it
2
might
days
as well.
ago.
just a little bit over the weekend. No, a couple days
No,
ago
I was
on
on
Thursday.
technically Wednesday evening.
I got up in the middle of the night. I ran into a wall. I knocked myself out. I had to go to the hospital. It's a whatever. But
He literally looks like Scar now. Like
I
he
Yeah.
has a scar down his eye.
I have a
We need to
giant
post
scar
that
on my face.
on the
I'll put it in the video version of the show.
yeah.
Check it out on YouTube.
All right.
Ooh, we can do a side by side of you and Scar and Luis and Jafar.
There we go.
It
Yes.
even rhymes.
I'll
It's
pull.
perfect.
I'll
It
pull
does
all
rhyme.
of those up.
That's sick.
When I edit this. Okay. That's very fun.
The point is, his eyes messed up.
Yeah. So I have scars on my face now, and
Scars on my face. That's why they call me Scarface.
yeah.
That's Andre.
I look like a bad guy. I already felt bad enough walking around like nice
He was
neighborhoods
like-
as like a black dude,
he
and
was like-
now I'm a black dude with scars all over my face walking
Oh
around.
my gosh.
And I know the police are going to be called on me.
That's why I didn't let
very
you get in the
soon.
ambulance. I'm like, you ain't taking him.
Yeah.
Get in my car.
We're moving on. This is an extremely goofy day. Extremely goofy movie.
It's an extremely
It's
goofy
okay.
movie.
It looks handsome. on
You
him.
can listen to Andre Knows Everything for the whole story. I put it up on
Yeah.
there earlier today. So yes, extremely goofy movie. The movie starts with Max and Peach and Bobby, and they're
Bobby. Why do
they're-
I always forget his name? It's
I
Bobby.
did not expect Bobby to be such a big character in this movie.
Bobby.
Even though he's not really a big
Leaning
character, but he's
Tower
there.
of Chisa.
You know, I
Yeah.
think even in the first one, he's not really a big part of that movie either.
But he's always there.
But he's there, yeah. And in this one, yeah, he is here the whole time, played by Pauly Shore once again. But yeah, the three boys, they're teenagers now. They're ripping it up on skateboards and stuff. Did they have?
I mean, they don't look any different, but they're teenagers.
None of them were skaters in the first one.
No,
right?
No.
Now they're all like
They're
super into X
pro
Games
level.
and-
But also, wasn't X
Skaters.
Games really popular like early 2000s?
It very much.
Oh yeah,
was.
absolutely. It was extreme. Everything was extreme.
And then that's why. That's why it's an extreme like
Mhm.
movie. I get
Yep.
it.
These
Yeah.
dudes.
Wait, doesn't Max ride a skateboard in the first movie?
I
to
think
get
so.
There in time for the theatrics.
Maybe
After today,
there might be a skateboard like at one point, but I think he's like running
I'm
through
gonna stay
neighborhood
on my
backyards
butt.
and stuff.
Story.
Regardless of that, he's very good at skateboarding now.
Yeah.
He and the boys are ready to go off to college, and Goofy and Pete, the dads, are throwing a going away barbecue for them. And they're like, "Dad, get out of here, whatever, dude." And Goofy's like,
I can't miss you if you don't leave.
yeah. Pete is very excited. Pete very much reminded me of my father when I was
Yeah.
going off to college. He's like,
His
I've
dad
been
was like,
counting
"Get
down
out."
the days for the past 365 days or whatever. And yeah,
God, you and your dad are twins and weirdos.
Pete is hyped to be free of his PJ child, but Goofy
PJ's awesome.
is very sad. He's like, "Oh, my boy's going off to college."
He's being the mom of the situation. For
Which
sure.
is so funny because I was even looking at Luis and I was like, why are you not feeling emotions? This is gonna be
God.
me in
An immediate
15 years.
And Andre, I made the comment. I said Emily's dying right now, and she's watching this because she's thinking about Addie going off. And Andre was like, I don't think she's thinking about that. That's a little too soon for that. And I was like, you're not a mom. Emily
No.
is
Man.
hardcore thinking that right now.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay, I was
Like when he
I was
picks
wrong.
up the little teddy bear and
Uh-huh.
he's like,
You gotta
I'm
take
like,
Teddy.
oh God.
That was like me and my stuffed Tigger. I was like, I'm taking it to college.
Taking
Right.
it to college.
And Max is, he's an 18-year-old boy, man or whatever, and so he's like, "Dad, I'm not taking Teddy to college," and they fight over it.
Snooky Dums.
And then he
Yeah.
falls asleep with it that night. I'm like,
Yes, he immediately picks it up and snuggles with it.
Snuggles it.
Also, Goofy gives him like an old typewriter tax document form machine. My father gave me this when I went off to college, and now it's yours.
It's supposed to be like his laptop, but like there's laptops now.
Right. I mean, he didn't even come close to a lot. He could have got him a desktop. He could have got him a keyboard for a computer. He didn't come anywhere close to anything useful.
But it is sad, and Goofy's sad, and he's a single dad, okay, and he's lonely, and he doesn't have Max. It'd be different if he had a wife and their kid went off. They're like, wow, look, we can do all these things together. Nah, he just at home working in a toy factory.
Right.
In a
yes.
really awful dead-end job. Poor guy.
Yeah.
Or Mr.
Goofy
Goof.
apparently has been working on the assembly line for the past like 20 years or whatever.
Well, wasn't he like... I thought he was working like as a picture taker in the first movie, though.
That's right. He was.
Yeah, they said he'd been there 15 years.
Oh, okay. So he must have got fired from that job. Pete must have fired him, and he went to go work at this this assembly line toy factory. But credit to Goofy, because basically anytime I see Goofy have a job, he's losing that job. Like
Yeah.
currently,
Yeah, that's Goofy
he's
for
losing
you.
it. But he's held this job for 15 years until this scene where he is losing this job. He gets on the assembly line. He's very depressed. He accidentally speeds up the assembly line, so he can't keep up with making the toys. His
really
boss starts
sad.
yelling at him, and then he falls into the toy machine maker, and everything blows up. He explodes the whole factory. Goofy, you're fired.
And
Typical
he's
Goofy.
nasty.
Yeah, it's pretty upsetting for old Goofster.
He
But-
loses his son and his job all in the same
Yeah, all
day.
the same day. But meanwhile, Max, he's kind of living it up at college. He gets there. He rips through the streets on his
Honeys
board.
like him.
The honeys is all over him. They're like, "Oh my God, Max Goof!" And and then he meets
Would you
Goof.
realize that Goofy's name is then Goofy Goof?
Goofy Goof.
Yeah, his name is Goofy Goof.
That's right. hmm That goes on his tax documents. Goofy Goof.
They call him Mr. Goof.
Mr. Goof.
Well, maybe he just goes by his last name, like Goofy. Hey, what's
Well,
up?
what's his first name?
Oh,
I don't
I
know.
mean, people at work call me
Oh,
Morty
look it up.
because my last name is Morton. So I guess.
Yeah, but
They
you
call
got-
you Morty.
Right.
Like Morty.
but you have a first name.
Right. Yeah.
Do you know that?
I'm aware, but like I think we might have looked this up last time. I think Goofy has had a first name
Like
or an
Thaddeus Goof or something?
alternate name?
Don't
a couple
worry,
of
I
times?
got it. I got it right here.
What is it? Let us
Sources
know.
from the Goof Troop continuity. His name is G.G. Goof. Oh, Goofus. What?
Go ahead, keep going.
No. Let me go back to Wikipedia.
Goofus.
You out here lying.
That says
Michelle.
Goofus D. Dog. That's his actual name.
Goofus D Dog.
I don't believe that.
Hang on a second. Let me see.
Y'all.
Let me see. Okay, his full name is G.G. Goofy Goof.
Yeah,
Okay?
G.G. Goofy Goof.
His alias, Dippy Dog, George G. Geef, Goofus D Dog, Goofy G Goof, and Super Goof. These are his names.
His species, it says anthropomorphic dog.
Right. As opposed to dog, like Pluto. Right?
His spouse is Mrs. Goof. Okay.
So anyway, Gigi, he has to go to
G.G. Goof.
to the unemployment office.
Is it like GIGIGG or
No,
is it like,
No, it's
just
just GG.
G.G. like its initials. Like,
So his initials are GGG.
like his name is like Gregory George Goofy Goof or something like that.
I like that, Gregory.
Okay, so
Greg.
he was originally known as Dippy Dog. More commonly, his name
Dippy
was
Dog.
Goofy. In the 1950s cartoon, he was typically called George G. Geef. Weird. And then in the Goof Troop,
George.
they started calling him G.G. Goofy. Goof.
So
And
Goofy's
then
a
it says
nickname.
in other 2000s eras comics, the character's full name has occasionally been given as Goofus D Dog. I'm Goofus the dog.
Goofus. I was about to say, yeah, it makes sense that Goofy is a nickname and that his parents didn't name him Goofy.
His name is just Goof.
But you just said his name is Goofus, so his parents named him Goofus, which is way worse than
Wait,
Goofy.
what? Also underneath this Wikipedia page, you know how it gives suggestions for like people also ask.
Sure.
People also ask what kind of cow is Goofy.
What kind of cow?
It's not a cow.
They think he's a cow?
It says he's an Aberdeen Angus cow. Disney isn't telling you that Goofy is really a cow to be specific. Oh God, this is just the fact that Disney would love to cover up, considering that
It's a
Goofy's
conspiracy?
national origin is anything but American.
He's not a bull. He's a cow.
This is some political thing.
What website is this?
What is it? A blog?
Lifeshare.com. Is Goofy actually a cow? People are losing their minds.
Wait, they think it's political that the American
might have to
government
take a-
has to cover
We
up
might have to take a break and read this entire
that
article.
he's a dog.
Donald is a duck. He's a dog, duh. I was today years old when I learned that Goofy is in fact a cow.
No, he's not.
The debate about Goofy's origins is ongoing on social media.
What?
Some claim he's a cow from the Alps, while some state he's just a dog living in the cartoon world. What is happening?
What dog? A cow from the Alps?
I can't.
Is that why he goes yahaha hooey?
Calling Goofy's mistaken dog identity as a cover-up, the article delves into proving that he is actually a cow. Goofy has always been thought of as an anthropomorphic dog or a dog with human features, according
Yeah.
to Disney's mouse links. However, what the Disney establishment isn't telling you is that Goofy is really a cow. To be specific, an Aberdeen Angus cow. In fact, that Disney would love to cover up, considering that Goofy's national origin is anything but American. He's not American either.
He's not American.
He's got that
Goofy's not
deep
American.
Southern accent, and he's not American.
Yahaha hooey, man.
Yahaha-hooey.
Maybe that's why they think he's from the Alps. He's
I-
like yodeling.
I guess.
Which is funny because the first thing I thought.
Yo, call this person up. Put him on the podcast.
The
Guess
first thing I
what?
thought was that they thought he was a cow because him and Clarabelle have had relations and she's a cow.
Okay.
Clarabelle's for show a
That's the
cow.
only
Right.
thing I thought of. But like, why?
Clarabelle
would
got
you,
an udder,
like,
like cows do.
The
why?
fact that it says that Disney's trying to cover up his true identity because he's not anything but American.
Hang on, it says the site also claimed that they projected Goofy as a dog and not a cow, since Americans think dogs are lovable and cows are eatable, and they did not want that.
What?
They listed out physical, hereditary, romantic evidence to prove that Goofy is a cow. For instance, Goofy may look like his pet dog Pluto, but his nostrils are flaring and big like a cow. Moreover, his teeth are flat, which is a characteristic feature of a herbivore. His bovine origins are said to be that of the Angus cow from Scotland, a hornless breed of cattle. All right, I gotta be done with this.
Bro,
This
you're
is-
not a cow.
This is all kinds of nonsense.
Give me this
This is a
phone.
long article too. Goodness gracious.
Conspiracy, man.
Anyway, Goofy's a dog, and he's in the unemployment office with all the other dogs in this movie. Everyone in this movie is a dog, except for
Pete.
yeah. Is Pete a cat?
Pete is definitely
Pete's a cat, yeah.
Pete is a cat. So PJ is also a cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And then also,
Are you telling me Bobby is a dog?
I don't know what
Bobby's
Bobby
a
is.
freak.
I think if Bobby's a dog, he's like a Chihuahua or something.
I thought Roxanne was a chipmunk.
Oh.
Kind of looked like it.
Fair. So, I mean, that would make sense to me if everybody was different animals. Because,
Wait,
Mickey
what?
and Donald and Goofy, they all run around together.
Hold
They're all
up,
different species.
hold up.
But in this
Sorry.
movie, it's mostly dogs.
Mostly
Yeah.
dogs, but side note,
Oh, here we
this
go.
is another thing.
Back from the
from
cow
God, am I
conspiracy.
gonna
Quora.com.
lose
Why
my-
can Goofy talk but Pluto can't? They are both dogs. Somebody asked this.
Mhm.
This was the response. In the Disney cartoon universe, Goofy is not a dog. He is a person who resembles a dog, just as Mickey Mouse is a person who resembles a mouse, and Donald Duck is a person who resembles a duck. Pluto, however, is an actual dog, which is why he can't dog.
Wait, these are all people?
But that
I'm
resemble.
gonna need you to back that.
That's
bus
what it
up.
says.
I do not subscribe to that.
I don't like any
Also,
of this.
why Google must think I'm stupid because the next question says, "Is Mickey Mouse a cat or a dog?" He's definitely a mouse.
Is Mickey Mouse a cat or a dog?
Is this
We have
a
to.
trick question?
We have to stop.
We gotta move on. We gotta move on, man.
We have to stop doing this.
Why is Goofy
How
dating
did
a
we
cow?
even
Is
get there?
How did who get where?
How did we get here?
because we needed to know Goofy's full name.
Oh, right. Yeah, we started looking up Goofy facts, and it turns out there's a whole conspiracy to cover up that he's a cow
I
and
still can't breathe. from
Mickey's
the fact
a-
that he's a cow.
a cat and a dog or something. Anywho,
Louise
Max
says
is.
that we're doing too many shenanigans, y'all.
Louise.
It's been 26 minutes of shenanigans. Anyway,
Oh, good God.
Okay,
uh,
getting into it.
Max is at school. He meets Bradley Uppercrust III. Okay, he's a very he's a rich senior dog who is in
Gamma Moo Moo.
the Gamma Moo Moos.
Which I'm
Oh, maybe
done
they're
with.
cows. Oh, you guys, this conspiracy is
There was definitely a bear on the show.
coming together. I was going to say that the only other animal that I saw was
Was a
the bear. He was like a referee at the end of the X Games.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, Bradley Uppercrust III and his pack of dogs. They're in the Gamma Moo Moos. They're
Gamma Moo
they're a
Moos.
team competing in the X Games. They win every year. They're the best in town. They meet Max and they try to recruit him. And Max is like, "Oh, cool, PJ, Bobby, they're recruiting all of us." And Bradley Uppercrust is like, "No, this is an invitation for one and one only."
And luckily, Max is like, nah.
Max is cool.
Yeah, he was actually really cool.
He's like, "You either take all of us or you take none of me." And they were like, "I don't think so, buddy." And so Max is like, "Well, whatever. We're going to win this on our own, and we don't really need you, so kick rocks, Bradley." Brad, he likes to call him, which Bradley hates.
You're missing the best part is the coffee shop dog.
Go ahead.
Coffee shop.
That
dog?
girl.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember her name, but I like her.
I believe in the credits she's listed as Beret Girl. I don't think they ever give her a
Beret
name.
Girl. The one that Peach likes.
The one that snaps and talks.
Yes.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
She's awesome. They go in there. She's doing her spoken word, and everybody's snapping. They get
And when
their
you
snap
come
on.
in here, you look at eyes clapping in the night, and you don't know.
Don't you dare.
Andre's
get
going to
to That's
hit
what
his
she
head
says.
on the floor.
Oh no, bra bra.
Boop, 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 boop.
This isn't Black Panther.
That's my bongo noises. Yeah, I remember as a kid thinking that this lady was very hot, and
But it's a dog.
oh,
It's
if
a
you've
cow.
never
So
been
I can
attracted
call Mufasa
to
Disney Dad?
yeah, you've never been attracted to any anthropomorphic characters,
yeah.
Miss Mufasa Daddy or whatever.
Mhm.
Goodness gracious. So yeah,
Oh, she a cow, remember? Okay.
She a cow.
everybody's a cow.
Aren't
So
we all?
so Max, I think they make a bet with Bradley and the Gamma Moo Moos that says
I
if
can't with the moo moo.
if we win,
Gamma Moo Moos.
if we win the X Games, then you get to be
Well,
my
because we're Theta Mu.
Right.
So
that's
what
why
if we
I'm-
were Theta Moo Moo? It's pronounced Mew,
That's why it's
not
bothering me.
Moo. People didn't call us Theta Moo.
I definitely would have called you Theta Moos.
Well, that's an issue. It's
technically we were
definitely
Phi
you.
Sigma Sigmas.
Oh,
Theta Mu was just our chapter name, so you probably wouldn't have called us that.
oh,
So you just would have called us Phi Sig or Phi Sig Sig. Siggy Siggy. I don't know.
Nobody has ever called us Siggy. Siggy. I'm gonna freaking back that
Siggy.
up.
that's the cigarettes over there. So
awful. Good God.
anyway, Max and Bradley they start a bet that
David
whoever
Momo.
wins the X Games will be the loser will be the next person's towel boy for the next year or whatever.
He's a super senior.
Yeah, he's been there for quite some time, I guess. Meanwhile, Goofy has reached the unemployment office.
Dude, this
Because he
was
got
straight
fired.
up sad.
The unemployment lady is like, "Oh, Mr. Goof, you don't have a
That
degree."
does not matter. You don't need a college degree to get a job,
She
lady.
said, "You know what you need to get a job is a college degree."
That's not
You're
true.
So good
This
at
is
that. It's really
false
frightening.
information.
She sounded like Roz from Monsters Inc.
Yeah,
She's
she
like,
kind
"Do
of.
you know what you need? Paperwork."
Oh my
so
God.
She tells him that he has to go back to college, basically.
So stupid.
And Goofy's like, "Oh no!" But then he's like, "Oh yeah!" And he
Maxie.
immediately signs up for Max's
History class or whatever.
college. I mean, it seems like he signs up for all of Max's classes.
For sure.
Like,
he only needs one more year of college. Shouldn't you be taking senior college
Right,
credits,
and
not
not all
freshman
undergrad
intro
stuff.
courses?
Luis and I were literally having that conversation like, this is so ridiculous, which Luis was like, he would have had to start his whole degree over. No, he
Right.
doesn't just to get 1 year. And then
No,
I'm like,
not
He
if he
went to
went
school
in
in
the
the
70s.
70s?
I'm like, why is Bradley Upper Crust and Tank over here in the same class as the freshmen? Like,
That's why I said, like, their
Graduate out,
representation
bro.
of the college was a little iffy. At least
Right.
in Monsters University, they were in different classes. Or they were in the same class because they were the same year.
They were the same
Yeah.
major. Yeah, all that stuff. But yeah, they put that logical stuff on the back burner for this kids movie, I guess.
For sure.
Um,
They're like, kids don't know about
So
college.
Goofy is like, "Oh, I haven't been to school since the 70s." So he pulls out all his 70s
I
outfits.
cannot with that.
He
Hilarious.
he shows up to Max's class late, in a full 70s disco suit with a gigantic afro. Like, it's the biggest afro I've ever
And
seen.
for some reason, he wears that suit every day. Like, every day.
Like it's a requirement.
Every day in the movie, he's wearing it. Like, luckily, they ditched the fro, but, like, why is he still wearing that blue suit?
That's his
That's
suit.
all you got.
He
You
doesn't
only
look
got-
bad in it. He's rocking it, you know?
He doesn't look bad, that's true, but, like, don't you
I
got
don't
more
appreciate
But
it
yeah, he
is.
definitely wasn't wearing his regular Goofy outfit. So Max is in hell, basically. He hates this. He can't believe that he spent 18 years with his dad to escape, and then his dad immediately
Spend
showed
more
up
time with
like
his
a
dad.
week later.
Well, and I think the funniest part of it too is that he and the two other boys like are in a dorm,
Right, yeah.
and
Peach and Bobby, both, all three of them are in. hanging out.
and Goofy's just like barging into the dorm. Like, it's one thing to see you on campus or
Lock
whatever,
the dorm door.
but like he comes in hardcore to their room.
It's so funny too, because before that happens, Max is telling Bobby and PJ, he's like, "Yeah, my dad, he's here, but you know, I just gotta let him know that we have our own separate lives now. I'm gonna go to my classes, he's gonna go to his. I'm gonna go to my X Games stuff, and he's gonna study in the library, and that's gonna be it. Maybe we'll see each other every once in a while." And then it immediately cuts to Goofy going like, "All right, it's laundry time, boys," and then he makes them study. He makes them clean up their room. He wakes them up at 6 a.m, even though they don't have class till noon. It's just a mess. Like, I can't imagine if my parents were with me in my first 2 weeks of college. Like, I couldn't even believe it. So it's basically a montage of Goofy bothering all of them for a while. And you know, Bobby and PJ, they're like upset, I guess, but that never becomes like a major plot point or anything.
Would have if it was my movie. Be like, you best get
Right.
your dad out
Bro,
here.
if you don't get your dad out of my face, then X Games is not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I
And I'm
did.
confused. Where the heck do they live? In the middle of like Timbuktu, where they? It's obvious the kids had to drive a long way to get
Right.
to that university. So literally, do they live in the middle of Timbuktu because there wasn't another university he could go to?
Right, like he there wasn't a junior college he could have showed up at
Dude, it's
or anything
too
like that.
And I know this is late, but like unemployment offices giving jobs only to people with college degrees.
Like, it doesn't make any sense because like most people in the unemployment
And
office.
FYI, that used to be my job, was to get people jobs.
And
I'm
did
gonna
you
tell you,
make them all go back to
I'm
college?
gonna tell you, 90% of them didn't have a high school diploma. Okay,
Right,
and
let
we were still
alone-
getting them jobs.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I was like, oh, poor Goofy.
Did you have to get them through like GEDs and stuff like that though?
it was obviously like a really big suggestion, but you can't
But
force someone to get
Right.
their GED.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I know. I remember that was your job because you used to tell me you would do like the workshops for the, and they would like have no resume and
Yeah.
stuff. You're like, you need a resume. So that's why when I was like, nah, they wouldn't say that at
No,
no employment
definitely not.
office.
Yeah, it was. You're right.
Well, and it was so funny too because Louise was like, "Don't you remember this movie? They do X, Y, Z, and he has to go back to college because he loses his job." And I was like, what? Like, that's why what? And Louis was like, yeah, he goes, he had an employment office, and this is a mess.
It's wild.
Yeah, so I definitely didn't remember any of that, even though I'd seen this movie before.
So Goofy is making them all study. He's with Max at every waking moment, it appears, and Max is with him in the library. And Bobby and Peach, they like try to call him over. Max has to like slip away from his daddy at the college library. I would have just been like, I'm going to the bathroom. Bye.
No, he has, so he slips away, but then Goofy finds him. He's like, "Where's you going?" And he's like,
Max, where are you going?
We need to sign you up for a library card, Dad. Everybody here has to have a library card." Well, I didn't have no library card in college. Did you?
You use your ID card.
Right, yeah, and this is my
like
school
your
ID.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I was like, library card? I didn't have that.
But he showed up late to college anyway, so I guess maybe he did need some extra help with all that stuff.
Cannot.
I
And that's where
definitely-
he gets his dig
Yeah.
on, okay?
And
Oh,
I
yeah.
definitely remember this girl, Miss Marple.
Sylvia. Oh, Sylvia! Max introduces him to the librarian.
Dude, you got your voices on
Thank
today.
you very much.
Yeah, dude,
And
it
it's because my face is hurt. And
does. No.
Goofy and Sylvia, the librarian, they start connecting immediately over the 70s memorabilia that they both wear. They both got
They're
these
both
like,
from the 70s.
mood rings on, and they just reminisce about the 70s. It's kind of like what millennials do about the 90s. That's what I
Exactly.
realized.
Y'all know Britney Spears? I know her.
Y'all remember CD players? Okay.
Didn't I just do that about like DVD?
Yeah, that's right. So they're grooving hardcore. They're
How
vibing.
embarrassing, though. That's what we're gonna be like, and our kids are
Dude,
gonna
we're
be
not
like,
even that
already
far
like
off.
that.
Mhm.
Like, literally, I talk to people at my job who we hire. They're like 18, and I'm like, Jesus, I'm old now.
Yup.
Like, I can't relate to you at all.
Right. But Goofy and Sylvia, they start hitting it off. They're doing the boogie duck over there, and Max is able to get away and go to practice with the homies.
which is very funny to me because my parents always used to laugh about how like the different kind of music that they liked,
Mhm.
and my mom was like to my dad like, "Oh, you always used to do the disco duck," and my dad would get super offended. "I never did the disco duck."
Oh
And
my
I was
god.
like, "Is that a real thing?" And then they said something about like the boogie duck. I'm like, it obviously is a real thing.
Well,
like,
I need my dad to send me a picture of him in his high school yearbook.
Because he looked just like Goofy with
Oh
that afro on.
yeah,
Dude,
my
I've
dad
seen
had
the
an
picture. She sent it to me once, and I was like,
My
"Steve
dad
is in
had
the
an-
powder blue,
yes
like suit."
It's
Ruffles?
well, that's what he got married in, a powder blue
Oh,
suit with
that's-
ruffles. But he
oh,
didn't have the
that's what I
fro
saw.
there. In high school, he had those short shorts, like running shorts, because he was on
Basketball
the track
shorts,
team,
right?
you know.
Oh.
And the biggest red afro you've ever seen.
Brenda was
Ridiculous.
like, yeah.
I know. I was like, Mom, what'd you split? Nasty.
Goodness. I wonder what are we gonna look that crazy in our
They had rainbows in the background at their wedding. Like, that's so 70s.
Yeah, it was trippy, maybe. It was groovy. So
Rainbows in the background. Brenda, work it, girl.
Work it, Brenda.
so after all this vibing that they're doing, Goofy and Sylvia, they set a date for that Saturday. They're gonna go out and dance or whatever. Max and the boys, they're practicing for the X Games, and then Goofy comes to tell Max that he's got a date. Max, I got me a date, and Goofy ends up mistakenly hopping up on top of the on Max's skateboard, and he performs a bunch of tricks in front of everybody and wows the whole crowd. Michelle has just shown me a picture of her father and mother.
Okay, I thought he was wearing a blue suit on his wedding day, but it's brown.
I mean, it's a different color, but it's basically exactly what Goofy was wearing in this movie.
Okay, no, then you must have showed me a powder
But-
blue suit of your dad at some point.
Yeah, it was
There's
probably his
definitely
prom
a-
picture.
There is definitely a rainbow in the background of this picture.
Huge rainbow.
Work it.
Yeah, we could straight up cast your dad as Goofy and your mom as Sylvia in the live action remake of this movie.
For sure.
Ridiculous.
I would really love to post that picture.
They'll definitely let you.
So after Goofy he goofs himself into all of these situations, right? Where people think that he's like good at stuff, but he's just being goofy and accidentally falling into situations. So he gets on the skateboard. He does all these crazy tricks. He parachute pants himself down from the
Luis
sky.
was like, how does this work? That's not how gravity works.
And everybody loses their mind. Like, oh, snap, Goofy, you're so good at this. And does Goofy try to get on their team at this point?
No, Max, like what's his face?
Oh, Bradley Uppercrust.
Is like, yeah, you should do it. And like he wants to get him against, like he wants to pit him against Max.
Right.
And
Cause
Goofy's like, absolutely not. But then Max is like thinking to himself, like, the only way I'm gonna get rid of Goofy is to make him get on that team.
Yeah.
So he pretty much forces his dad, like in a nice way, I suppose, to join the team, and they like immediately not initiate him. They immediately like pin him, and I'm like, wow, that's all you have to do.
They recruit him pretty quickly there. But yeah, it's pretty brilliant on Max's part. He's like, okay, I got this dude a girlfriend. I got him on the opposite X Games team, so I don't have to spend all of my time with him, but I'll see him all the time, and that'll appease him, and he won't be all
Pretty
in
smart.
my business. It's
Pretty good idea.
It's a pretty good idea. So Goofy joins the game of Moo-Moos, and they go through a montage of like initiating him into the fraternity.
Luis, what did you think about the
They put their
initiation?
robes on.
So ridiculous.
They got the paddles.
Louis, pick it up. Tell
There
us
was
what you
no
think.
paddles.
Oh, there was no paddles. What
No,
did
it
they
was
have?
candles.
They had candles. That's right.
That was weird, Joe.
Did you guys wear robes in your initiation ceremonies?
I don't think he's at liberty to say.
Look at him not saying.
He's got his mic up to his mouth. And he's not
Robes?
saying anything.
We wore robes. I
Yeah,
wore robes.
we
the
wore
last couple
robes.
years.
Robes. Was
They
it
weren't-
dark?
They
I
weren't
didn't have
robes like
hooded
that.
robes, though.
They weren't like that. It
You
was
have
like
to-
a graduation gown.
Was it like a dark room and you had to light candles?
Yes.
Okay. Hey.
But I didn't have a hat on. That'd be weird.
There was a hat involved. It'd be crazy.
Also, it only looks cool if everyone's wearing black. If everyone's wearing different colors, it wouldn't look cool.
Yes, we all wore black, and there was a lamb. But
Okay.
that's none of your business.
Well, all right.
Yeah, you don't need to know about a lammy.
I don't need to know nothing.
About a lammy.
Apparently. Did you sacrifice it? You cut his throat?
None of your business.
We're
Okay.
vegan. I'm just kidding.
Drank its blood. All right.
Nothing about us is
I'm not a
vegan.
vampire.
I don't know what kind of stuff y'all got going on. So Goofy has been initiated into the game of Moo-Moos. Max and the boys, they're practicing hardcore. They go out to party at the club, the local club or whatever. PJ,
Isn't it the queen bean, basically?
like the
Bean
Java,
house?
Java Bean or whatever.
Java
No, it's
Jive?
not there.
No,
It's
no,
a, like
it's this is the club.
Oh, the
because-
club. Oh, yeah. No, it's a roller rink.
Yeah,
No,
they get
right?
they get nachos. They start
Kinda
eating,
like that.
eating those up, and then Bobby tries to hit on the beret girl. and
Yes,
she's
yes,
like,
yes.
"I'm not feeling your vibes" or whatever. and
and it's actually very funny. Like,
PJ hits her with the wisdom and knowledge of a man much older. He's like, to be a man of larger stature is the duality of man because I will be ignored by society. And she's like,
quite hilarious.
whoa.
She's like, I
it's
am
like,
feeling
this is
your vibe.
deep. Yeah. So they start vibing
Oh,
too.
yeah. She's like, mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And Bobby is over there dejected.
It's all right. He got
Nobody will
pizza.
overlook you, Daddy-O.
And then Goofy and Sylvia show up on the dance floor.
They ready to party.
Goofy like bribes the DJ to play something old, something funky, and the DJ goes all out because he starts lighting up the floor and stuff like that. It's a full on disco, and they get down.
Show us how to do it now. Show the world you can dance. Come on, Louise.
So there.
Music gives us a chance. How's it go?
Louis doesn't actually know a lot of 70s stuff.
Oh.
No? Well,
Louise, can you at least nod your head into the mic so they can hear you nodding your head, please?
Just give me a
oh, there it goes.
Ew.
shake it. Ew, he's gonna get all oily.
So yeah, they cut a rug. They get
What?
groovy. They do all of the stuff. And they impress everybody. Everybody's like, wow, look at Goofy, look at Sylvia, look at them go. They stare into each other's eyes, and then they continue their date outside. They go to a park bench. They start making out. I assume they don't actually show that, but that's what it seemed like
they
it was
might
going.
as well have. They did this like weird finger.
You
Oh
make
my
me
god!
Oh, and then
feel
their
mood
dancing.
rings.
I want to dance the night away. Yeah, the
Yeah,
mood
that was
rings light up.
weird.
I was like, oh my goodness.
I was like, is this supposed to be indicative
This is why
of
my
something
mom
else?
liked this movie though. Like I vividly remember us watching it and her just like singing, cleaning the house, like you make me feel like dancing.
Dude.
that makes a lot of sense. That your
Mood
mom.
rings. Mood
that
rings
your
were
mom loves
also
this
in
movie.
the 90s though, or no? Was that 2000s?
I mean, I think they've been around the whole time. You know.
Yeah, but I remember a phase like when there was like mood nail polish. I'm
Really?
serious.
I remember the mood rings because I had a finger.
Oh, you don't remember the mood nail polish?
I don't remember the nail polish, but I remember the mood rings. I've had a finger or two turn green, you know, from those cheap things. Goodness gracious, those things suck.
Yeah.
So they have a great date. Goofy brings Sylvia some flowers the very next day. Oh, Sylvia! And then he proceeds to like knock down all the books in the library or whatever.
I hate that trope, but it was somehow funny with Goofy.
I mean, yeah, he is good at making everything funny.
Honestly,
that's for
I
sure.
like Goofy a lot.
Yeah.
Like, Goofy's so
quite
funny.
hilarious. And Adeline loves Goofy. Like,
Oh,
he's
really?
definitely one of her favorites, and so that makes me like him more too.
I like Goofs.
So over the next couple of days or whatever, the X Games starts. It's like the semi-qualifying rounds or whatever. They go out to do like their big open court skating, like at a skate park type of competition. And it turns out that all the Gamma Moo-Moos, they're straight cheaters. Bradley Uppercrust, he's tossing rockets onto Goofy's board and stuff like that, and which doesn't seem like a smart plan in any way, shape, or form. Like, I guess if you know Goofy and you know that he's gonna make something impressive happen out of a crappy situation, that strapping a rocket to his skateboard would be a good idea. But if you don't know Goofy, you would just assume that this would skyrocket this dude off into oblivion, like he would die. Like any normal person would not be alive after you strapped a rocket to their skateboard.
Absolutely not.
But Goofy performs
Brilliantly.
crazy good. He gets all 10s except for Germany. They give him a 9. That was weird.
That was super
See, I thought it
weird.
was because it's like 9 is no. Like
9?
9.
Oh, that makes
Oh,
sense.
I
So
didn't.
that was my thought.
I
but
was just like, what if?
That's funny. And then Max goes out there and
because he's a cow.
Yes.
oh, that's right. Moo. He's on the Gamma Moon. So Max goes out there after Goofy, and he doesn't perform as well because Bradley Uppercrust is like shining a light in his face and stuff like that. He's just
I like how you
straight
call
cheating.
Bradley Uppercrust every time.
The third. He's just cheating blatantly like the entire time. Nobody's catching him on any of this stuff. So he gets like an average of 6 score or whatever. And so everybody in the crowd is chanting, Goofy, Goofy, Goofy.
And it
Max is
definitely
like,
was not the goof.
I cannot believe that my dad has come here and not only stolen my freedom, but he's stolen all of my valor.
Stole the show.
Stole my freedom.
It's awful.
He stole his liberty
Yeah.
and his death.
Mm-hmm. Give me liberty.
It is
but
ridiculous.
Please
That
give me
poor
death.
kid.
They go through the qualifying rounds and then I think Max and Goofy start fighting because Max is fed up with Goofy and all of this. He's like, dude, you can't come in here and just steal my whole life. You got get your own life. Get your own life. Goofy
Get your own life. Get your own life.
Goofy-
Get your own life.
Goofy goes back into depression mode because anytime Max says anything mean to
No,
him,
he goes through some kind of weird trip.
he just can't handle it. Right. They go.
Come on, get happy.
They take a midterm.
I did not like that scene.
And Goofy falls
It was
asleep.
weird.
He falls asleep in class and then goes on a crazy drug trip. Like
Yeah,
he,
like it was definitely.
he flies into the clouds. The happy music is playing.
The flower turns into a face.
It
that
was
turns
just
into a
weird.
Little
flower.
Max fairies come out of the teacups and stuff like that. It's all crazy. And then it turns into a bad trip because real Max shows up and he gets all bulky and he's like, "Oh, get out of my life."
No, dads.
He ends up in like a limitless void, a limbo or whatever, where Max
Just
is
like a white, like limitless expanse.
yeah, just a nothing
so
zone.
weird.
And Max like shuts the door on him or whatever. He wakes up, he fails the test, and then he goes and sits on a park bench and ditches Sylvia for their next date because he's so sad that he can't face it. And then I think, and then he goes to Sylvia the next day. He tries to apologize, and I think that's when they knock over all the books in the library.
Well, either way, it's sad times, McGee.
It's very
Sad times,
It's very
McGee.
sad times for Goofster. At one point, Max, since Goofy has gotten all these accolades that Max thought he deserved, he's like, bros, I'm getting out of here. I'm transferring. I can't deal with any of this. I gotta get away from Goofy.
This is so ridiculous, this part. Like, his life is so over that he's just gonna leave everything.
He's like walking in the rain, and somebody comes up to him, and is like, "Oh my God, are you Max Goof?" He's like, "Yeah, I am." She's like, "You're Goofy's son. Oh my God, I love
so
Goofy.
funny.
So awesome."
And he's just like, I'm
He's like,
transferring, bruh.
This is the most nonsense I've ever experienced since the Goofy movie. Yeah, so he tells the boys that he's transferring, that he's quitting, and then they and the beret girl, they get together to cheer him back up. They give him like a speech. Are you gonna be somebody else's towel boy? He's like, no.
Why are they always betting being like a towel boy or a water boy? It's always something like that.
I don't know. I guess it's just that.
Subservient.
Yeah, it's just like a subjugation kind of
Yeah.
thing. I'm gonna have power over you one way or another. Can't just have this trophy. I gotta also make you do my laundry or whatever.
Guess
The
so.
skaters use towels.
Yeah, I don't know how many towels they're using.
I feel like that's weird.
That was actually, I thought about this. That was one of the most random like bets like you could kind of do. Like,
Right. Like, how about
so
you
just
clean the Gamma Moo
be
house or something?
Somebody's towel boy, just wipe off his sweat when he wins.
Like,
I
What are
guess
the parameters to this telling
you have to
boyish?
be around me all the time. Anytime I have even a drip of sweat, there must be a towel at the ready, no matter what
What?
time it is.
Why, girl?
I woke up with a cold sweat. You're there.
Ew.
So Max decides he will not be a towel boy. So he's like, "Let's do it, which is like their team motto or whatever.
Gosh, they say that way too much.
What did they say?
Let's do it, do it.
I don't remember that even once.
Oh,
What?
really?
They
say
said
it's-
it a lot.
They say it several times. in
Do
the-
it to it.
Let's do it to it.
Yeah, they said that a lot.
Yeah.
Do you remember that, Louise?
He shakes his
He
head.
nodded no.
Y'all crazy.
He nodded no.
I swear I do not do it to it.
So Max gets his energy back. He's like, I'm gonna get back in these X Games. I'm gonna win the whole thing. Goofy, after he apologizes to Sylvia, he's like, I gotta focus. Oh, that's right. He goes back home and talks to Pete. He's like, Pete, I don't know what to do. Max don't love me no more. I can't win none of these X Games. I don't know what to do. And Pete gives him like bad advice, and Goofy takes that in and does the complete opposite. He's like, oh, okay, I have to focus on my studies. I gotta get back in the game. And
Which
so
I just think it's so funny how they portray Pete here. Like, Pete is much more villainous than they try to
Right.
have. Like, they've tried to recreate
Yeah,
him over the last couple years.
Yeah, exactly.
He's supposed to be more like, he's not 100% straight edge, but he also, like, tries to do the right thing now. Like, in these, he's just, like, the worst neighbor ever. Like,
Yes.
don't listen to him.
he's
Goofy.
pretty awful in almost every single way. But Goofy takes that as inspiration to actually be good. He goes back. He tells Sylvia he's got to get into shape, and so they go on like a Rocky style montage where
Which I do not understand.
he is studying and
It
working out
literally makes
at the
no-
exact same time.
absolutely
He's doing
no
push-ups and
sense.
reading. He's on the treadmill and he's reading.
But why is
He's-
he working out and reading at the
He's
same
lifting
time?
books
It
and
makes
reading.
no sense.
I guess so he can be prepared for the X Games.
No, babe, it makes no sense. And
Oh.
But I
he
mean-
wasn't gonna do the X Games.
Did he quit at this point?
He was going. Yeah,
He
was.
He
Gone.
had every intention to quit.
He went home.
Right. Because he was going to focus on his studies and not the X Games.
Yeah.
But regardless,
It's funny, but I don't get it.
it's very silly where he's on an exercise bike and there's a book in front of him and he's like flipping pages as he's writing, like super fast.
So
Like,
stupid.
please don't tell me that's effective because
Yeah.
It
I've
just
been doing
literally
it wrong.
makes no sense whatsoever.
It's a very inefficient way to study and to work out, I would assume. But it works for Goofy because he's Goofy and he manages to get all A's. He gets straight A's on all of his tests.
I
or
was
whatever.
confused too because you know what, when he took the midterm and he like totally blew it and failed it, but then Sylvia was like in her house and it said congratulations, like he was supposed to graduate. I'm like, you graduated at midterms?
Well, maybe
But
I mean,
then he
maybe
went
just
back.
like on his way to. Maybe it's the only banner she could find. You know.
It just didn't make no
You
sense.
about to be gratted.
Give her some slack.
Didn't make no sense to me.
They so then Goofy goes to
She's reusing a post like a, you know.
yeah, that was for her last student boyfriend that
Oh.
Wasn't saying that,
that
but
she
okay.
met in the library.
Oh, Sylvia.
I'm sorry, Sylvia. I don't mean to say that about you.
I
So
don't know you, girl.
yeah, then Goofy goes to quit the Gammas. The guys, Bradley up across the third and his cronies, which, by the way, one of his cronies looks exactly like Bigfoot from the first movie. Like, he's got that.
Bigfoot.
There was that Bigfoot scene in a Goofy movie where it plays, what's that song? Well, you can't tell by the way I use my weapon, and the Bigfoot is just dancing and stuff. One of the guys on the Gamma Moo-Moos must be that Bigfoot's offspring or something, because he looks exactly like him. He's got the teeth, he's got the furry hands and stuff.
Yeah.
That's
Straight
weird.
up. Yeah, it's weird. But anyway,
I like the one that looks like an Italian guy. He's funny.
the little one.
No, he's like the one that's like, yeah, we always cheat.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Stupid.
So they hear that Goofy's quitting, and they're not happy about it at all. Then Goofy goes back in to the room with the Gammas, and he overhears them planning to cheat, and he tries to go warn Max, and Max is just not having any of it. He's still mad at Goofy. He's like, "Buzz off, Dad. Get your own life," or whatever.
Buzz off, Dad.
Then the X Games actually begin. I think it's the semifinals. It's the Goof Troop versus the Gamma Moo-Moos, and I think at one point the Gammas cheat and they blast PJ off into space, and we don't see him again until like the end of the movie. PJ is
Does he
just
even come back down? I don't even think
Well, I was
remember
like
her
so
ever coming
confused
back.
by that. I was like, I don't think he came back down. And then like the next scene, we just saw him hanging out with his girlfriend, and I was like, all right, I guess he's
I
good.
guess he's all right. He cartoon landed or whatever. But yeah, PJ is gone. So they need a third to be able to compete in the X Games. Otherwise, they're disqualified.
Yeah, they literally could not make a live action out of this.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. So they call out to Goofy. Max, he apologizes somehow. I don't. They've only got like 30 seconds to get another guy.
I'm sorry, Dad. Hurry up. Get here.
Dad, I'm sorry, please. So Goofy shows up. He makes his way to the top of this skateboard ramp or whatever, and then the X Games begin. They beat the Gammas, even though they're trying to cheat the entire time.
And I'll be honest. So they do like a Is that called a triathlon?
Yes.
Like where you, what did they do?
Yeah, it's
first?
like a relay triathlon.
They did roller skates first, then bike, then skateboard.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was interesting because I did not remember how this movie ended, and it was actually really interesting. It was kind of like epic in a good way.
Right. It was cool.
So they go through their rollerblading, and like Andre said, they're
changing the course.
and they're saboteuring the whole time.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
But when they get to the end, I thought it was so interesting because how did they rocket into the X?
So I think at one point, Bradley or maybe one of the other cronies sticks a
starts the
rocket onto Max's.
No, the other guy.
Onto Tank's
Yeah.
skateboard to push Tank
To push him
to
faster.
the finish line. But Tank is so big that I guess he veered off course of the precise
Or just like
calculations
threw
of
him
this
off
rocket.
balance.
Yeah. So he crashes into the big X Games sign, and it comes completely crashing down. Now, a very fun fact that I read about this movie is that they had to cut this part out of its original release, or like its VHS release or something like
Really?
that, because 9/11 had happened, and the image of them being in this burning structure was like, it was just too much.
Triggering.
So they cut it out, but then I guess a couple years later they like added it back into any streaming versions of the movie. So the version that we watched on Disney Plus had it in there, but it was cut out because of 9/11 reasons.
Yeah, because that's why I was like, I don't remember seeing it like this. Like it was
Interesting.
It was intense.
pretty intense.
Yeah, Tank and Goofy both get, or Tank and Max both get trapped inside the X Games structure, and then
And it's like starting to like come down, and for some reason it's burning.
it's all on fire.
I guess it's because of the rocket.
Yeah, the quality control on this X Games is
And
no
they're
good.
like all of the like announcer people are just like, it doesn't look good.
It doesn't look good for Max
Like
and
in
Tank or
NASCAR, they
whatever.
would already be up on the thing. You know what I
there
mean?
was no medics on site. There was
Like, they were
nobody. It
not
was like,
getting it.
I hope they don't die in there.
So
Well, and I think the
stupid.
best part is that, like, yeah, there's no, there's, I don't know. I can't even. I'm tired.
It's just too much.
It's a lot. But Max and Goofy help Tank escape because he's been trapped under the X Games structure. They all ride out on a single skateboard together, and Tank at this point, he has sided with Max and Goofy because he realizes that it was Bradley's fault that he almost died in a crazy X Games fire.
and that Max was the only person to go back in to try to help him.
Right, exactly.
Like, Max cared more about Tank's existence than he did about this
About
bet.
winning the game, yeah. So then it's Max and Bradley in the last rung of the race, and Max just scoots his little skateboard right ahead of Bradley, and it's a last minute cincher, and he wins the X Games, sponsored by ESPN.
They
and
should have done that
ESPN2.
song. Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
Well, you did it now. I think that's.
You're welcome.
Yep,
Yeah.
it was beautiful.
You can go ahead and edit that into the movie. So they win. Tank then he just beats Bradley up across into a pulp or whatever. Oh no, he tosses him into the sky. I think he gives him like an atomic wedgie or whatever, and it blasts him into the stratosphere.
In which PJ meets him and gives him a high five
Yeah.
on the way down.
Ay, ay,
And that's it. They win the X Games, and I guess the entire semester is over, or the entire year.
Basically, it's like the
Goofy's-
end of the.
Yeah.
Yeah, Goofy's
year.
school year is over. He has passed all his classes. He has graduated.
He done.
He is done with school and can now go get a job. Max,
'Cause, you know.
back to the unemployment office. Look what I got, a degree.
A degree.
Check this out. Max gives him his X Games trophy as like a graduation present. He's like, Dad,
That's cute.
it has a note on it that says,
You're actually really nice, Michelle, to think that's cute. Because I was over here like, that's a stupid
"Giving
graduation.
him a trophy?"
But
All
to
right.
he knew Goofy would like it.
Yeah.
That's why.
He also gave him a card that says, "I may not be a little boy anymore, but I'll always be your son," which is really, really sweet and nice.
He's
of
also
Max.
only being nice because his dad's leaving. So.
Yes.
For sure. Max is not. Max is a.
He's not the greatest son in the
No.
world,
He's a teenager.
but he's got Goofy as a father, So it's a
I
balance,
It's a balancing act of life.
Goofy
guess so.
Goofy tries to play him as a last minute thing too. He's like, "Max, you won't believe it. I got a job teaching here on campus," and Max is like, "No!" He just loses his mind. He's like, "Just kidding," and then he drives off into the sunset.
Was
with,
he
with
kidding?
Sylvia.
Yeah, he was kidding.
Yeah, he said just kidding
Oh, I didn't get the just kidding, Lou. Did you get the just kidding?
about getting a job on campus, setting up
Oh yeah.
an extra
said he was
extremely goofy
kidding.
movie or whatever.
Oh, I missed the just kidding.
Yeah.
I thought it was true, and I was like, what are you doing on campus, Goofy?
Yeah, what job could you have possibly gotten
Please.
with your
Tell me you're in
college degree?
security or something. 'Cause I
Oh my
didn't-
goodness! Can
Actually,
you
that would
imagine?
probably be worse.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
Well, I don't want him teaching anything.
Everybody on campus getting assaulted, and Goofy's in security. So yeah, that's the end of an extremely goofy movie.
Him and Sylvia right off into the sunset.
Yeah, they drive off. It's cool, and they get to listen to 70s music for the rest of their lives, I guess.
That's
You know?
nice.
Just like we're gonna listen to the Backstreet Boys forever.
I am not
I'm Team
upset
NSYNC.
about that. I'm not upset.
Team NSYNC, baby.
Everybody.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Rock your body.
Wow, Luis told his wife to shut
He just
up.
told me to be quiet.
He said,
Calm it
he said,
on down.
shimmer down, shimmer down.
Simmer down now. Oh, hey, yeah, here in the trivia it says one of Upper Crust Thugs is a shaved down version of Sasquatch from a Goofy movie. Check that out.
Oh.
Shaved down.
Nailed it.
Oh.
Yeah, that is good, Andre.
yeah, that's basically all I've got for this movie. It didn't make any money because it was direct to
So
DVD.
why did they make direct to DVDs if they don't make no shmoney?
Well, they do make money because you have to buy the DVDs or rent them or whatever.
You mean no
but they
box
it didn't make
office
any
money.
box office money, so I have no.
I see.
I have no numbers to report to you, based on its performance.
Okay, I get it.
However,
this is going to sound so awful, but I didn't notice, like I have in other straight to DVD or straight to VHS movies, that there was like a major disparity in the animation. Like in
It
other
didn't
movies,
feel like it. No,
I have noticed it where
Right.
it's like, oh, good God. But like in this one, it was kind of like, well, was the first one bad? Now that I looked at this one, because this one didn't look like awful.
I think it's just that difference between
The type
it
of
didn't look
animation.
bad.
90s animation and 2000s animation, where 2000s kind of just puts like a glossy finish over everything, and I think that's probably part of the budget as well. But
I'm not.
but yeah,
mad.
it
didn't
it
feel like
it didn't
this
look bad.
was awful.
It didn't look like a serious dip in quality or anything.
Yeah, definitely. Does it have a
Excuse me.
Rotten Tomato though?
Yes, on Rotten Tomatoes, an extremely goofy movie has a 63% on the tomato meter,
Oh,
a 48% audience score.
Dang.
So a little low, but
it's a little low.
surprisingly, the 1995 A Goofy Movie's tomato meter score is only 58%.
But then why did I feel like this has a cult following though? Still,
Well, a lot of movies that have a cult following are sucky.
I
Right?
guess so.
Yeah, that's quite true. There's no
Speaking
critics
of-
consensus, and there's only 8 critics scores on Rotten Tomatoes for this movie. But I guess that's because
Alright.
it's direct to DVD, and not everybody has to review it. You know, one reviewer says fun but imperfect. That's all I say, I guess. They give it a C rating.
Just like me.
But somebody else gave it a 3 out of 4 and said definitely a cut above most straight to tape family fodder,
Agreed.
which I fully agree with. I think
Yeah,
this,
definitely.
this is better than most of the direct to DVD sequels that
Absolutely.
Disney has produced.
Absolutely.
Like Mulan 2 and Pocahontas 2 and Cinderella 2 and 3 aren't holding the candle to an extremely good
Kronk's New Groove, get out of here.
Kronk's New Groove,
So bad.
goodbye. Okay.
We tried to watch that one together, huh?
Uh-huh.
We did. We didn't
Yeah.
get
We
far.
got-
We
like
didn't
20
we didn't
minutes.
finish it. We pulled the lever on Kronk's New Groove. like
And we were
good
trying
night.
hard to like it because we were
Yeah.
like, Kronk is hilarious. Let's do this.
Right, and it wasn't great. So thank you guys for picking clearly the best direct to DVD sequel. Although Return to Far, I still would have been psyched to watch. And maybe I'll look up the Rotten Tomato score for that right now. Do you guys want to give it a rating?
I will go first. I'm gonna give it a 6.5, 6.5. I want to give it like a 7 or more because I still enjoyed it, but like
Yeah.
quality wise and like will I want to go back and watch it all the time? Probably not. I mean, it was cute.
Yeah.
It was good. It was fine. But there's other movies I want to watch more. Like
Sure.
I'll tell
Oh,
you
for
that
sure.
But so I'm gonna say like 6.5. In so many movies, I feel like you don't have to sing, even though I'm a lover of the singing.
Mm-hmm.
But like in the first movie, they did a really good job with the singing.
With the
Like I thought
songs,
it
yeah.
like kind of because
The first,
of
yeah.
Goofy, like Mickey Mouse and any like the kind of clubhouse vibe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm cool with the singing; it doesn't bother me.
Right.
So like I feel like we could have had one song.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know that I necessarily missed the singing, but if there had been a song in there,
But those songs are great.
I'd have been
Yeah,
happy.
well, the first one they were all
After
good.
Right.
today. That's what I mean from the first one.
Mhm.
Yeah. Stand out.
Or even if we had gotten
Above
like
the
a power
crowd.
line on the radio when they were driving
Yeah.
or something like, hey guys, remember when? I would have been like, yeah.
Throwing it back to 5 years ago.
Seeing it eye to eye. Like I would have been happy with
Yeah,
that.
that would have been cool. I almost wonder if they didn't have
Rights to
licensing
it or
for some
something.
of that or something like that.
Yeah.
Couldn't pay Tevin Campbell again to sing those songs.
I mean, for direct to DVD, I'm gonna give it a 7. Like, pretty good. That's kind of all I have to say about it. It is exactly like how I remembered it as a kid, so that's pretty good. Because
Yeah, that means it
sometimes,
held up.
Yeah.
sometimes you remember it and you're like, that's not what I remember. Nope, that's basically what I remember. That's how that movie went.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that it basically seemed the same, except for the employment office, that got me a little bit. But
Yeah. I will say though that there's less times where I went bah! Like laughing
Right.
than I did in the first one. Like the first one had some quality comedy.
so
this
good.
one there was a couple where I was like,
Okay.
I keep looking at your face, Andre, and I keep like,
Yeah.
Yeah, he
'Cause
looks
it looks
scary,
like I'm about
huh?
to attack, right? Look dangerous. Lou, what's
you
your
look
score?
like an attacked animal from Zootopia. You know when they got like the
Oh, yeah.
scratches?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, my baby.
My baby.
Pretty much went from fried rice with a good heaping of soy sauce
Mhm.
to that dry rice they have.
What?
You mean
So-
like white rice
Yeah,
that
white
everyone
rice.
likes?
Yeah.
Judge
That's the
rice,
way I
sticky
see it.
rice.
6.
6.
That
Okay.
was a very.
I do
interesting
agree
way.
with Luis
Fried
about the
rice.
rice though,
To white
because
rice.
y'all just plain white rice is not my jam, but like a
Nah.
good
Good.
fried rice
Put
with a
some soy
heaping of
sauce on
soy
it.
sauce is speaking my
The
language.
soy sauce was the songs.
I like soy sauce
Soy sauce.
Okay, 6.
on my rice.
From Louis' 3 girls. Now there is only 2 for them. I'm gonna eat this one.
I might as well eat the 2 more.
No! Stop stealing biscuits.
There's no
Louis,
biscuit.
your
From the
lack
mouths of
talking The whole
babes.
time was just made up by that.
Yeah. Only the real fans made it to the end of this episode
It
to hear
took
that.
me that long to make that song.
That's
He's
gonna
been
be-
thinking about it this whole time.
That song's gonna be the clip.
All right,
Um,
Andre.
Over there slurping.
I'm gonna give this movie a 7. I think. I think this movie is really fun, and for a sequel where I feel like they can be pretty lazy about them sometimes, where they
Heck
kind of
yeah.
just repeat the same story over again. I feel like this one had enough differences to make it feel like a completely different story. It's still Max trying to wrestle with his feelings of of hanging out with his dad.
Goofdom.
And how much Goofy is too much Goofy or whatever. But with the addition of the X Games, I mean, this is basically another sports movie that we're doing.
Yeah, that's true.
And then the college stuff is pretty fun. And I like seeing PJ get the girl. Get it, PJ.
That was actually really cool. I was not expecting
Get
that.
the girl.
Go
He got the
PJ.
cute girl too, like
Mm-hmm.
the happening girl.
All right. Max basically struck out with every girl he talked to in this movie. It was like
Yeah, for sure.
the girl in the classroom. She was like, "I'm gonna go sit by Bradley Uppercross the third," and then there was the girl who only knew him from being Goofy's son. It was like, "Dang, Max, what happened to Roxanne?"
Yeah.
What happened to Roxanne?
Roxanne. You don't have to put on the red light.
Yeah, she went to Harvard or something.
Luis.
She- Never mind. I was
Luis.
gonna keep singing this song. Just make it very sad for poor Roxanne.
Luis. Your birthday is soon, so you get to pick birthday movie.
That's right. It's
You
Luis's
would get to
turn.
pick birthday
To
movie.
You
pick
get to pick birthday movie.
Birthday movie for Luis.
Wait. Say it like you're the Godfather.
The Godfather.
Yeah, I get to pick the birthday movie.
Okay, first
Hang on
off,
a second.
You were a robot. He was Russian, and now he's gonna be what?
That
What
was-
that
That was a
supposed to be?
God.
That was the Godfather.
I never seen the Godfather in
Okay,
my
first off,
defense.
the Godfather is Italian, and you
Yeah.
sounded like
The
mouthful of.
birthday movie.
You
I sound like a vampire.
You come to my podcast and you ask me to pick a movie, and this is the movie that you choose. What's your movie, Lou?
Luis is smiling.
Finest hour.
Luis has chosen the 2016 live-action Disney film,
Luis, we watched Togo. Wasn't that great?
The Finest Hours,
Finest hour.
which seems very Togo-like. It stars Chris Pine and takes place out on the water. It looks dangerous and exciting.
Hmm.
Lou, have you seen this
No.
movie? Oh, okay,
Oh, he hasn't. Okay.
gotcha.
Oh, okay. So
I don't believe any of us have seen
Nope.
it, right? No.
Never even heard of
is
it.
this the first time that we're watching a movie where none of us has seen it?
Well, we didn't.
Mulan.
No, you had seen Toko. Yeah, we watched Mulan, but
Like newer
Luis
movies.
You
didn't,
still
didn't
haven't
see
seen
it.
it, so that still doesn't
Yeah, it
count.
doesn't
And then
count.
I guess like the new movies that we did, like did we do Avengers Endgame, right?
Yeah.
But we did we do that when it came out?
No,
Yeah, we waited, right?
we just did it this summer, babe. Oh, Endgame, the summer before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is one that none of us have seen. Let us know in the comments if you've
It's
seen
old
it. If you
movie
like
none
it.
of us have seen. Older. we should
Older.
say.
It's only-
2016?
Yeah, 2016. It's only a few years
It's
old.
only been 4 years.
Yeah.
You can't classify it under old yet.
Anything that happened pre-March of this year is old.
Is old.
Okay?
Yeah.
I swear to
Yeah,
God. Someone
anything-
talked about something that happened in January, and I was like, I
What?
don't know.
When?
January. My birthday was
75
then.
years ago. I don't know.
I don't even remember my birthday.
There's a month called January.
Yeah, I guess so.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I guess we're gonna get another one at some point, which is crazy to me.
Exactly.
Andre and Michelle were talking
Oh,
about
my
next
knee.
year before this. And it was like, what do you mean January, February? That sounds like a long time ago. Wait, actually, it's not that long
It's
at
not
all.
that far from now.
Not far from now.
It's basically, it's still March of 2020 to me. This year is just stalled.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that February is like 6 months away. I'm like, wait, what?
900.
It's because the second half of the year always goes by like way faster.
I mean, I
Well,
guess.
and we've been quarantined.
Yeah,
for 6
this particular year
no.
is doing all kinds of wonky stuff.
Oh no.
Let's watch
time.
The Finest Hour.
Why
Here we
not?
go. It's the finest hours. It's not just 1
Hours.
Hours.
It sounds,
It sounds
better
better
than
the finest
hour.
hour.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. 100%.
You couldn't nail it down to 1 hour. It's actually an hour and 57 minutes long. All right, you guys,
Oh, no.
join us next week for the finest hours. It is on Disney Plus. We'll be watching it.
The Finest Hour, everyone. Who
Finest
doesn't
hour.
know?
The finest one single hour. That's all I'm watching of it. In the meantime, you can join us on social media. We are at the Walt Vault Pod on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Go there. Let us know in the comments what you thought of an extremely goofy movie. If you liked it better or worse than a goofy movie, let us know. We want to know the answer. You can leave an email to contact@thewaltvaultpod.com. That's fun. You can buy our merch on our Bonfire store. The link to that is in our description below.
merch.
Buy
Bird merch.
Bird merch. We got a cool
merch.
logo on there. We got some Always Snacking shirts. You can get Luis's face and work out in it like Hakuna Matande does. What's up? And
What's up?
don't forget to hit up our Patreon. That's patreon.com/thewaltvault. We give you extra content there. There's our stream of consciousness notes for the movies. Sometimes there's an extra podcast. There's old Kingdom Hearts gameplays on there. There's all kinds of stuff available for only $1 at patreon.com/thewaltvault. Check that out. Last week we talked about naughty things happening in The Rescuers, which is fun.
Oh, my God. Crazy Town.
Check that out. Also,
Naughty.
our exclusive Hamilton review is available on Patreon. I don't remember if we talked about that as well. So go there, check all that stuff out. We got extra content
I think you're right.
available.
That was
for you.
Patreon only?
That was Patreon only. Maybe we should release it to the regular people.
Nah.
Yeah, maybe after a couple more you sign up. All right.
We'll see.
We'll see. All right, you guys, that's been it for this week. Join us next time for some finest hour goodness. The vault is now closed.